Now, when it comes to being English and wanting to be a filmmaker, there aren't many people to be inspired by. In America, you got directors like Martin Scorsese, Quentin Tarantino, and Christopher Nolan, but over here in Britain, there's not many people. Of course, you've got people like Shane Meadows with This Is England.
Keep your fucking hands up from now!
And Danny Boyle's Train Spotting. Damn, we Brits make really weird fucking films, don't we? But not many British directors are often held as masters of their craft all around the world. But this isn't the case.
Do you want anything from the shop?
Cornetto.
With Edgar Wright. I think Edgar Wright gained global love for his films like Scott Pilgrim vs. the World and Baby Driver, but towards fish and chips, meat and gravy bricks, his best movies were the Cornetto Trilogy. So we've got 3 movies to talk about, so let's talk about...
What's the matter, David? I'm taking a shortcut before.
Shaun of the Dead is a film set in London. The film follows 2 protagonists, Shaun and Ed, as they try to survive the zombie apocalypse. Now, when it comes to comedy films, I don't really find them funny anymore. Oftentimes they're not clever and they just seem so repetitive.
Smoking causes cancer.
But Shaun of the Dead is different because it does a lot more visual comedy.
It's listening.
Oh, look, hog lumps.
And callbacks. But it also strays away from other comedies as there's very little improv here. Because the way it's Shaun edited just wouldn't allow it. But there were a few exceptions.
Take what the hell? Oh, big old gash.
But I think the reason this film still holds up today is because of the 2 main characters, Shaun and Ed, who are played by Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, who are friends in real life. And just like friends in real life, Shaun and Ed are constantly bouncing off each other. And it makes them feel like they are actually friends and not just actors who have met each other. Overall, Shaun of the Dead is one of my favourite films of all time, and it's quickly got into my top 10 ranking of any film ever. And yes, of course I'm biased because I'm British, but this is genuinely a really good film. So, I've talked about this one, and now it's time to talk about...
What's the matter, Danny? You never taken a shortcut before?
Hot Fuzz is the second instalment in the Cornetto trilogy, where Nicholas Angel has been forced out of London and has been sent to Sandford, Gloucestershire. Look how I've spelt it in the script, that is a fucking disgrace to anyone who lives in Sandford. Now the film, just like Shaun of the Dead, has visual gags.
Oh, yes, please.
With respect, sir, geographical location shouldn't factor in the application of the law. No thanks.
And callbacks.
Shit just got real.
Frank, this shit just got real.
Have you ever seen Point Break?
No.
Amazing bit in Point Break where they jump over a fence.
Is there no? 29.
Patrick Swayze's just robbed his bank. Keanu Reeves is chasing him through people's gardens. And he goes to shoot Swayze, but he can't because he loves him so much. And he's firing his gun up in the air. He's like, oh!
But I think the true reason this film is so loved is because of the real and its extreme and supposed to be badass depiction of the more unseen parts of police work. And it separates itself from other buddy cop movies. And it separates itself from other oh my fucking god. And it separates itself from other buddy cop movies because of this. But by the end, when it does become more extreme, it's still funny as, you know, what has just been shown before has been completely turned up on its head and there's just massive gunfights in a random village in England. Now, I haven't talked about this yet, but I think this would be a pretty good thing to talk about before we talk about The World's End. Something that Edgar Wright is most known for is his whip pans and his quick cuts. It's what's really set him apart from other directors. And with all these whip pans and stuff, that just really makes the movie energetic. it never makes you bored, even with a runtime of 2 hours.
But enough of this one. It's time to talk about
The World's End is our third and final movie of today's video. The story is about 5 friends who return to their hometown to finish a pub crawl, but they end up on the run from an alien race. Average British night out. Now, the 2 previous films are a lot more comedic, and while this film is still quite funny, it's definitely different, with Edgar Wright's unique style of editing just not really being here at all, and everything just feels a lot more depressing. And it's because this is a film about alcoholism and moving on, but it just doesn't feel like it really fits in the Cornetto trilogy. Now, the film's still filled with callbacks.
Anyway, 5 sounds much better. I think they missed the trick only having 3, because if they'd have 5, then 2 could have died and they still have 3 left.
But just not as many visual gags. I just feel like this film is just so different to the rest of the Cornetto trilogy. But it's clear this film means a lot to Simon Pegg, as Gary King is his favourite character he played in the entire Cornetto trilogy, and his favourite character he's ever played ever, as he himself has dealt with alcoholism. And that line at the end of the film where he asks for water instead of a pint, bro, that shit hits hard. That hits hard. Now, overall, I still do love The World's End, but I think I'm going to give it more of a 4 out of 5, where I'd give the others a 5 out of 5. It's still good, it just doesn't really hold up to the others. And I've heard many people say they should have just made this film and made another film like the other 2, and I can kind of see where they're coming from, but at the same time, it's clear this meant a lot to Simon Pegg and to Edgar Wright, so, you know, who am I to say against it?
So if you're English and you want to show some friends who aren't from England what England is like, don't show them fucking Harry Potter. Show them these movies. Or, if you don't like them, show them this film. They won't come here.